Alright, now we're going to be kind of building our knowledge of rendering along with Hypershade. The two cannot be separated. There's no way. With everything that you make in Hypershade, you have a good demonstration of rendering in tit for tat. So what we're going to be doing is looking at like reflections, refractions, photons, photonic energy, caustics, and let's say how light bounces off surfaces a little bit too. So to get started, we will make the age-old sphere, and we will grow him out a little bit. And we're going to make a stage here. So say I make 6 on the keyboard, and I'm going to take this box right here, and I'm going to go into polygons, and I'm going to say normals, reverse. And I'm also going to go shading, backface culling. This allows me to see inside the room, okay? And make sure my normals are facing the right way at all times. Okay, I'm deleting some faces here. So I have this. And I'll just make it a little bit bigger and plop it down. Alright, so that's the age-old way of just kind of taking and making a little stage. And the reason I do that is because I could show several different surfaces and how light bounces off of them, and how you can see through things causing a refraction. So I think another thing that we need is another shape. And this shape is just going to sit back in the background right here. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. And maybe make it a new color too. So assign a new material. Let's go with a Lambert. And that Lambert's properties are going to be blue. Maybe not that blue. Maybe a little less blue. Okay, there we go. Now, another thing I want to kind of put out there is a light. So let's go into rendering. Go into lights. Now I can make several different kind of lights. I like the spotlight for this demonstration. So here's a spotlight. If you go to high quality rendering and 7 on the keyboard, you can now see that light. Okay, and you can direct it around. I guess what else is being covered here is lights. So you can't really separate any of those. Like rendering, you can't separate from lighting. Lighting, you can't separate from hypershade. So you gotta do it all in one big huge chapter. That's why it's taking so long. So here's the spotlight. And in here, we have the ability to adjust cone angle, penumbra, and drop off. Okay? So, penumbra is the ability to kind of ghost off or gradient off a light. Okay? Both inward and outward of the original beam. Okay? Drop off is just a drop off ratio. So it has no outside at all if you crank this up even a little bit. But look how soft and nice that looks. Okay? It looks more like something what a very soft spotlight would look like. Okay? And cone angle is just the ability to crank it out some so it just fades off. And it's a larger area that the flashlight covers. So think of this thing as a flashlight, really. Okay, so now, just let's set up a render. Let's go into render settings, choose mental ray. So you don't see mental ray, so let's go into settings and preferences, plugin manager. Choose Maya to more. And do a little render now. under mental ray. So mental ray, you can see there's a lot of tabs here. Like another thing we could cover pretty soon is passes. Okay, so let's go to high quality. So that is production quality. Another thing I like to do is make sure my ray tracing is set to these numbers right here. Okay, good. Let's go to common. And under common, what I want to do is cover, how big this render is going to be. I really like covering it with 300 dots per inch. There we go. Okay, so let's give it a little render now. Very boring. Okay. So now we get to spice things up a little bit in the next couple videos. First off, I would like you to add a spotlight also. A spotlight's just going to act as a fill light within the room. It's going to be maybe way up here. We're going to need this for a little bit. We might end up deleting it here in a little bit too. But it just allows so, you can see all the objects. And right now we can't separate the two lights because it needs something called shadows. So one would be casting shadows, the other one would not. Alright, in the next video, let's start tweaking the scene out and making something fantastic out of it.